wouldn't tell the Wall Street Journal because it'd be wasting my time. There are talks, but I don't want to talk to the Wall Street Journal. But look, you hear what I said? It's a rotten newspaper.
Are there any updates and talks with Black?
And then when the election didn't exactly work out the way that it should have, a lot of work was not done on the plane because a lot of people didn't know. They made change orders that were so stupid, so ridiculous. The Boeings that are coming in, well, sir, they're way behind, and they are. They're way behind. They were way behind. Another mess that I inherited from Biden.
What happens when you combine a private jet, a Wall Street Journal reporter, and Donald Trump's fixation on children's dolls? You get the political equivalent of your ex drunk texting you increasingly bizarre accusations as the night wears on. Trump's recent Air Force One meltdown wasn't just strange, it was a window into a mind that's coming unglued, from attacking dolls to fantasizing about reopening Alcatraz prison for immigrants. This video breaks down exactly why Trump's behavior mirrors that toxic ex you finally broke up with. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Ever wondered what happens when a former president has a meltdown while flying? Trump's recent mid-air rant was exactly like getting weird texts from an ex at 2 a.m. who still can't accept you've moved on. You know the type. Suddenly bringing up stuff from 3 years ago that has nothing to do with why you broke up. So there's Trump supposedly doing a normal press briefing on his flight to DC when suddenly he starts talking about
The Wall Street Journal.
That's what I. Well, you people treat us so badly. Wall Street Journal has truly gone to hell. Go ahead. Yeah, rotten newspaper. China's been ripping us off for many years, ever since they started. To me, I think it was the worst thing that Richard Nixon ever did. And it was Nixon. You know, he's the one that got it started, and they've taken advantage of. No.
To get it built, I took it over from the Obama administration. They had originally agreed. I got the price down much lower.
Wall Street Journal is China-oriented, and they're really bad for this country. Go ahead.
dolls. Yes, dolls. Not inflation, not jobs, not healthcare, but little girls' dolls. He was all worked up about it like he'd been thinking about this doll situation for a while. Can you imagine Trump sitting in important meetings about national security while thinking, these darn kids and their multiple dolls are ruining America? But here's the thing, this wasn't just random babbling from our orange former leader. His doll rant came right between made-up claims about egg prices and gas costs. Classic deflection technique. It's like when your toxic ex suddenly yells, "You never liked my mother," during an argument about who was supposed to pay the electric bill. Trump complaining that kids have too many dolls these days is as ridiculous as blaming McDonald's for making different types of burgers. Back in my day, we had one type of burger and we liked it. It makes zero sense and solves zero problems. When Trump feels backed into a corner about actual issues like his failed COVID response or the economy tanking on his watch, he throws out these bizarre accusations. It's exactly what that ex does when they know they messed up but can't admit it. Blame something totally unrelated instead. This pattern of weird deflection isn't just Trump being Trump, it's calculated. When the news cycle might focus on his legal troubles or failed policies, he gives us something so bizarre we can't help but talk about it instead. Brilliant in a twisted way.
Well, you know, I want a fair deal with China, but China's been ripping us off for many years, so maybe something should be thought about, you know, a little bit of retribution.
And if you take a look at that compared to the new plane of the equivalent, stature at the time, it's not even the same ballgame. You look at some of the, well, I think what happens with the plane is that, we're very disappointed that it's taking Boeing so long to build a new Air Force One. We have an Air Force One that's 40 years old.
Trump's doll rant tells us something important about his mental state. When someone starts fixating on increasingly odd details and conspiracy theories, they're desperately looking for someone else to blame. He can't admit that maybe, just maybe, some of America's problems happened on his watch. So instead, he blames little girls with doll collections. And just when you think the doll thing couldn't get weirder, wait till you hear how he treated the reporters on that same flight. Talk about a cabin pressure problem. Remember that crazy ex who'd lose their mind if they caught you texting someone else? That's exactly what happened when Trump spotted a Wall Street Journal reporter on his plane. The doll rant was just the opening act of this airborne circus. While floating through the clouds, Trump went full detective mode on the journalists, demanding to know who they worked for like he was checking IDs at a club.
Has Qatar asked for anything in exchange for that $400 million luxury jumbo jet? And how can the American people be so sure that they will not in the future?
And it's close to 40 years old, might be more than 40 years old now. And we, when I first came in, I signed an order. Arab countries and the planes they have parked alongside of the United States of America plane. It's like from a different planet.
Who do you write for? He barked at reporters, probably scanning the cabin for anyone who might say something mean about his hair. When one poor soul admitted they were from the Wall Street Journal, our Orange ex-president completely flipped out. He called the paper rotten right to the reporter's face and claimed they were an agent of China. This is like accusing Chick-fil-A of secretly working for vegans. The Wall Street Journal has always leaned conservative. They should be on his team, but Trump can't handle even the mildest criticism from friends. Trump views journalists the same way a toddler views the doctor with a needle, as enemies who must be destroyed. He doesn't see the free press as a pillar of democracy, but as personal attackers who haven't pledged their undying loyalty to him. But the real cherry on this crazy Sunday was Trump's Alcatraz fantasy. Yes, the former president wants to reopen a famous tourist spot as a prison for immigrants. This is like wanting to turn Disney World into a jail because you're mad at Mickey Mouse. Trump's annoyed that immigrants get actual trials before being deported. He complained, they want to have trials for every single person that's in our country illegally. That would mean millions of trials. Imagine being angry that people get due process. That's in the Constitution, you know, the thing presidents swear to protect. This isn't just a bad idea. It's a revenge fantasy from someone who thinks punishment is the only answer. It's like Trump has a kindergarten understanding of how to handle complex problems. Got immigrants? Jail them. Bad press. Attack them. Too many dolls? Blame them. All this madness happened before the plane even touched down in DC, Trump getting angrier, weirder, and more dangerous with each passing mile. If this is how he acts on a short flight, imagine him with the nuclear codes for 4 more years. The cabin pressure might be normal, but Trump clearly isn't. Trump's Air Force One meltdown isn't just funny, it's scary. It's a preview of what we'd get with 4 more years. A president who thinks Alcatraz should be a prison again, and that dolls are America's biggest problem. This isn't normal political behavior, folks. When someone shows you who they are through weird doll rants and Prison Island dreams, maybe we should believe them. It's like Maya Angelou said, except with more orange makeup and conspiracy theories. What do you do when your ex won't stop sending crazy texts at 2 a.m.? You block that number. Voters might want to try that approach this November.